Ohio, of course, Jim, is where it's going to be very important.
Right,
as Meg pointed out, multi-district federal court, different law being applied there in terms of what they may have done wrong.
Public nuisance is Oklahoma. Just be sure J&J telling me, look, this is Oklahoma Supreme Court is going to be going to file promptly.
In terms of the appeal from
the
them
appeal,
in Oklahoma.
right, and they're based on both fact and law, all right. Their products, a crush-resistant pill and a patch, had low rates of abuse and diversion. I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't want to.
8% of the overall market.
Yeah, 1% of the. Right. But here's the David. The real thing that is we go against. If you're J&J, you roll the dice with the court, and I don't know why that is, but I think maybe they just don't want to set a precedent writing checks.
Well, they are by far the most deep-pocketed of any of these companies that are being produced.
They're
They haven't
AAA.
filed, but they're
right. Yeah, geez. I mean,
and Mallinckrodt is.
Oh, geez. But they're AAA, which is one of just two balance sheets that's AAA. Microsoft the other, and I think that they want to fight because they have the money to fight.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that lawyer was talking about the business roundtable. I mean,
by the way, that was very interesting to me that the Oklahoma Attorney General mentioned that business roundtable finding. I'm not even sure, communique, I guess we want to call it, that shareholder value is not necessarily the only thing that they're going to be focused on. Now, of course, J&J has the credo. For a long time, if you read that thing, shareholders are just part of it, but they've claimed to have a responsibility to a lot of other people. Well, what the Business Roundtable is now talking about.
Right. I mean, Alex Gorski has spent a huge amount of time on.
It's the first time I've heard that Business Roundtable change cited, and it's fascinating what this is really going to mean, if anything.
Well, there's still
we talked a bit about the rise of ESG investing.
Right.
In other words,
But they still make the product because the doctors money. I mean, the issue is whether it was overprescribed, and the other guys actually, of course, did much more. But J&J felt that they did much less, and therefore, why should they settle? And they ended up having to pay much more. But, of course, they're going to go to the Supreme Court. Now, I don't know about the Oklahoma Supreme Court. I don't know much. I don't know. To me, the fact of law.
But we move on now, as Meg said, to Cleveland and to that case, where a lot of other cases are consolidated. And that would seem to be very important in terms of trying to determine what, if any, is going to be the ultimate liability.
My chow trust on J&J, I've told the company this is the toughest it's ever been to own this stock. Just the toughest. Because you have talc and you have this. And J&J is adamant that they didn't do anything wrong. And I've got to tell you, David, there's an argument that because they're the honeypot, that they have so much money, that the plaintiff bar is salivating against J&J. And they know that drug companies are not liked. They're not.